Watch your mouth. 5 common phrases you learned in English class might actually sound incredibly rude. Today, you'll learn how to stop this. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and share this video with a friend.
Hey Liam, have you ever spoken English, felt completely confident about your grammar, and then noticed that the conversation suddenly became awkward?
Yes, that used to happen to me all the time when I was learning, and it's actually a very common experience. Real communication is about much more than just grammar.
But why does that happen if the sentence is technically correct?
It happens because native speakers don't just listen to the words you choose. They also interpret the attitude, emotion, and intention behind them.
Wait, does that mean I can speak perfect grammar and still create a negative impression?
Absolutely, and that's one of the most frustrating discoveries for many learners. They work so hard on grammar, but nobody teaches them how certain phrases actually sound in real life.
Is that why some learners get so confused when people react differently than they expected?
Exactly. Learners often focus only on the meaning they want to communicate, while native speakers are focusing on how the message feels.
So, what is the first phrase that learners should pay attention to? I definitely don't want to sound rude.
The first big one is, "I need your help."
Really? Why can that phrase create problems? The intention is literally just to ask for help.
Because in many everyday situations, it sounds more like a demand than a request.
Oh, I see. What do most learners actually mean when they say it?
Most of the time, they just want to say they'd appreciate some assistance.
So, why doesn't the phrase communicate that feeling clearly?
Because the word need puts all the focus on your requirement instead of inviting the other person to choose whether they want to help you.
Oh, wow, that makes a lot of sense. So, what can we say instead?
You can easily swap it for things like, "Could you help me?" or "Would you mind helping me?"
That already sounds way better. Is there an even softer version that native speakers use all the time?
Yes. A very common expression is, "I was wondering if you could help me."
Why does that expression sound so friendly?
Because it introduces the request gently and instantly gives the conversation a collaborative tone.
Can you show us the difference in a real-life example?
Of course. Imagine sending a message to a coworker saying, "I need your help right now."
Oof. How might that message be interpreted?
It can easily sound like you're ordering them to stop whatever they're doing and focus on your problem immediately. It comes across as really rude.
Oh, I see it now. It really does. What would sound more natural in that exact same situation?
You could simply say, "Could you help me when you have a moment?"
Why is that version so much more effective?
Because it respects the other person's time and schedule while still communicating exactly what you need.
I can finally see it clearly now. Let's continue. What is the second phrase that often causes misunderstandings?
The second phrase is, "Why are you late?"
That sounds like a perfectly normal question. Why can it be a problem?
Because many native speakers hear that question as an accusation rather than a genuine request for information.
What exactly creates that negative impression?
The question immediately focuses on the person's mistake instead of showing any concern for their situation.
Does that mean the speaker can sound judgmental without even intending to?
Yes, and that happens quite frequently with English learners.
So, how do native speakers usually react when someone arrives late?
They often begin with concern rather than criticism.
What are some examples of that approach?
Instead of, "Why are you late?" they might say, "Everything okay?" Or, "Did something happen?"
Why do those questions create a completely different feeling?
Because they show that you care about the person's well-being before you care about the explanation.
That's a great perspective. Can you give another example that sounds really natural?
Sure. A native speaker might casually say, "Rough morning?"
What makes that expression so effective?
It instantly acknowledges that unexpected situations happen to everyone, and it completely avoids sounding confrontational.
Can two questions that want the exact same information create completely different emotional reactions?
Absolutely. Because people don't just respond to the information itself, they respond to your tone and what they think you mean by it.
Is that an important cultural thing for learners to understand?
Definitely. Different cultures see directness in different ways, and English-speaking cultures usually prefer a much softer approach in everyday conversations.
So, what is the third phrase that can sound super rude, even when the speaker is just trying to be nice?
The third one is, "You look tired."
Oh, wow. Why do so many learners use that phrase anyway?
Because they actually want to express concern and show empathy. They're trying to be nice.
Right, but if the intention is positive, why does it cause so many problems?
Because most people hear it as a negative comment about their appearance, rather than a sweet comment about their well-being.
Oof, yeah. What goes through the other person's mind when they hear that?
They usually think, "Wait, do I look bad? Do I look unattractive or completely exhausted?" It instantly makes them feel self-conscious.
What could someone say instead if they genuinely care about the other person?
They could simply ask, "How are you feeling today?"
Oh, that's so much softer. Are there other alternatives that sound just as natural?
Yeah, you could say, "Is everything okay?" Or even, "You seem a little stressed. Everything all right?"
Ah, I get it. Because that way you're asking about their energy, not pointing out their dark circles or how messy their hair looks.
Oh, absolutely. Because many learners are genuinely trying to be kind, so they're completely shocked when they find out the phrase can actually be taken the wrong way.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking because they mean well, but it's so true. Okay, I'm taking notes. What's the fourth phrase on that list that we think is fine but might be a trap?
The fourth phrase is, "You should do this."
Oh, wow. You should sound so normal to me. Why can that come off as rude if you're just trying to help someone out?
Because it can easily sound like you're putting yourself above them, like you're the ultimate authority who knows the only right answer.
Ah, so instead of feeling helped, the person ends up feeling criticized.
Yeah, especially if they're already stressed out trying to solve a problem.
It's like there's a hidden message behind it. What do they actually hear when we say that?
They usually hear something like, "You're making the wrong choice, and I obviously know better than you."
Oof, yeah, that definitely rubs people the wrong way. Nobody likes to feel like they can't think for themselves. So, how do native speakers usually give advice without sounding bossy?
They use much softer language to suggest things instead of ordering. A classic one is, "You might want to try."
Oh, I like that. It feels like a suggestion, not an order. What's another natural option along those lines?
A very common one is, "Have you considered?"
That sounds way more respectful. Why does that shift the whole vibe of the conversation?
Because it invites the person to think about it, instead of just telling them what to do. You're giving them the control.
Makes total sense. Is there another clever strategy native speakers use?
Yes, they love to share personal experiences instead of giving direct advice. They'll say things like, "One thing that worked for me was..."
Oh, that's brilliant. Why does that approach work so well?
Because people are always more open to advice when it feels like you're just sharing your story, rather than giving them a lecture or instructions.
Man, I can see how these tiny changes could completely transform relationships at work, too.
Absolutely. In a professional setting, everything depends on sounding like a team player who wants to collaborate, rather than someone trying to boss everyone around.
And I guess that's even more critical for non-native speakers, right?
Definitely. Learners often translate directly from their native language and end up sounding way more direct or aggressive than they actually mean to.
Wow. So looking at these first 4 phrases, what's the biggest takeaway here?
The ultimate lesson is that true politeness in English is all about giving people choices, not giving them pressure.
Last but not least, what is the 5th phrase that learners often use without realizing it might sound rude? I'm really curious now.
The 5th phrase is, "How much do you make?"
Oh, wow. Why do so many learners think that question is completely normal to ask?
Because in many cultures, it's just a casual way to get to know someone and keep the conversation going. They don't mean any harm.
Right. But why does that specific question make native speakers feel so uncomfortable? Because money and income are considered deeply private. Most people just prefer not to discuss their finances with someone they don't know super well. So even if you're just making small talk, the topic itself is a bit of a minefield?
Exactly. People react to the topic, not to your good intentions. Salary is usually tied to things like personal identity, social status, and private life choices, so it gets awkward fast.
That makes total sense. So what should we ask instead if we want to talk about careers but keep things friendly?
A much safer and more natural option is simply, "What do you do for work?"
Oh yeah, that's a classic. Why does that shift the energy so much?
Because people are usually very proud, or at least comfortable, talking about their actual profession, their daily responsibilities, and their career journey.
True. It feels way less invasive. If someone actually applies everything we talked about today, what kind of improvement can they expect?
They're going to notice smoother conversations, much better reactions from native speakers, and honestly, a huge boost in confidence. You stop worrying about making a mistake and start focusing on connecting with people.
I love that. Well, before we wrap up today, what question would you like our viewers to answer in the comments below?
Tell us below, which phrase surprised you most, and have you ever used it? But if you think this was a game changer, you haven't seen anything yet.
Wait, really? What is it?
It's something called the secret cultural shortcut every American knows. If you don't know it, you're basically playing the conversation on hard mode.
Oh, you can't just leave us hanging like that.
I won't. We actually broke down exactly how it works and how you can use it right now. Just click on the video right here on the screen to watch it next.
Awesome. Click right here and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye.